Hello and welcome back to Thai Talk with Dan, the channel where we share your Thailand stories. Now over the last week or so, we have shared some very crazy stories, and some of them can seem somewhat unbelievable. Now I do read your comments and listen to what you guys have to say. You literally have to spend a good amount of time here in Thailand getting around and about and meeting different Thai women and getting in different circles within Thailand just to see how crazy and bonkers it really is. For the past 7 years, all I have heard are stories about unbelievable stuff that goes on in relationships here with Thai women. Hence why this channel now has well over 500 videos about other people's stories and a few of my own. Right, now today's story is from a 28-year-old man from Ghana who claims that his story may be a little different. Now we always hear that everybody's new Thai girlfriend is always different, hence why all the carnage erupts and happens here in Thailand. So let's give this guy a shot and see if his story is different. So without further ado, let's jump into today's Thailand story. Hi Dan, my story might be a little different and I would like people in the comments to be realistic. Here is my story. My name is Joshua, 28 years old from Ghana. I live and work in Thailand and it's almost been 2 years not living near any red light district areas. In early 2022, while in Bangkok, I would go to Cowboy Street, Sukhumvit, but I was never interested in any bar girls, as back in my country, I never even once paid for aerobics with a woman. So I would ignore them, and I didn't have a clue what was really going on with them. Now during the end of 2023, I decided to take a trip to Pattaya for the New Year countdown, and I met a very beautiful woman. She was stunning and glowing. She had a beautiful smile and a very cute face. She was only 23 years old and her name was Ploy. We met that morning at a club. Unfortunately, I had no room as I was hosted with my friend and he had a wife. So we didn't talk about going together. We went to a restaurant and had breakfast, and we agreed to meet in the evening that day for the favourite Thailand pork grill, Mugata. She arrived at the restaurant at 4 o'clock and she called me and sent me her location. I tried to book a grab taxi to her location, but it was all busy. I tried Bot, but that was busy also. So I had to wait for my friend to come pick me up at the restaurant, which was 14 kilometers away. She waited me for a long time, and unfortunately, my friend came at 7 p.m. drunk and he needed a power nap. I knew she was very angry and I had messed up as I kept her waiting for me for over 4 hours and I am still at the same location. So I kept giving her excuses as she tried to book for me, and it was the same case. I arrived at 9:30 and she had finished, and she smiled when she saw me and I had to apologise to her, but it was all good. So we left and went to a club for the New Year countdown, and it was amazing, and around 4 a.m, but I was tired and had no clue on what to do next. I wanted to book a room and go with her that moment, but I decided to be patient.
Seriously, what the f are you doing?
So I suggested we go to the beach and just hang out there. I told her that I felt like kissing her that moment, and because there were so much people at the beach, she responded she is shy and she is not the same as Pattaya girls, as she is there just for a holiday. So, the voices in my head told me she is not a bar girl as I first thought. On this day, we talked about our hustle. She told me she works at a boutique in Pattaya part-time, and I didn't want to tell her I work as a teacher in Thailand, so I lied and said I am a traveller and I'll be leaving in mid-January. So, we had a long conversation, and around 5 AM in the morning, I told her I would escort her to her room as I needed rest, and she agreed. So we went and we only kissed goodbye. By now, I had started developing feelings for her at that moment, but I myself knew that such a beautiful girl won't love me as I fantasize. The next evening, I sent her a message if we could meet up again that day, as I missed her so much, and she agreed. So we went to a club and after, as usual, headed to the beach. I knew it was my last day in Pattaya as I had to go back to work on the 3rd of January. So our talks got deeper and she asked me if I was married back in Africa. I told her no. She asked if I have a child. I said no. And then she told me that she has a 4-year-old son. Now guess what I responded to her? I can take care of your son for you. She said no, that she is hardworking and that she can do it herself, so I didn't insist. She then told me she loves chocolate men and she wished she was born black. Black is sweet, same honey. Her words.
Yeah, boy.
My heart started to warm. I came to Pattaya because my sister told me there are many black men here, and when I came, I realised they don't love me. They only want to have aerobics with me, but I don't like. I responded, now that I'm here, will you stop looking? She agreed and told me that she loved me at first sight and she will have no one but me. Yesterday, you proved me wrong. I thought after the countdown you will tell me, all right, Ploy, let's go to my room. She said if I had spoke like this, me and her would be finished. I am quoting based on her English as I remember her every word. She told me she isn't into luxury life and I shouldn't worry about her expenses. She only wants me to love her genuinely.
Oh God, I love you.
At this point, I was completely hooked and fallen even deeper than the previous day. I told her I am leaving the next day and if she would go with me. Something I knew that she wouldn't agree to, but to my surprise, she agreed and told me she will have to ask her big sister for permission. Wow, I was so happy and I wanted us to rest, so that next day we head to Koh Rat where I work. So I sent her to her room and proceeded to my friend's room very happy, knowing that I won the jackpot.
What could possibly go wrong, eh?
I still couldn't believe such a gorgeous woman just liked me. On the next day, I sent her taxi transport to meet me at the bus station. I sent her 1,500 baht and she complained, saying why do I have to send her that much money as the taxi is only 200 baht. So when she arrived at the bus station, she gave back the balance. I was shocked, as my previous encounters I only met hyenas greedy for every penny. She told me if we're going to live together, you need to manage your money well. Wow, what wife material, indeed. So, we travelled together and I booked a hotel as I didn't want to take her to my room as she would know that I am working in Thailand. So I needed to come up with a lie. I told her since my visa ends in January and you are now my girlfriend, I am willing to extend for just a year to be with you. And she was so happy. That night, everything went fine. We made love, with protection though, and indeed, two lovebirds met and their souls connected. This was my assumption at that time. So the next day in the morning, I had to report to work. So I lied to her. I said that I have to go meet a certain agent to link me up with work here in Thailand. I told her I can give her 2,000 baht to take care of herself and that I will be back in 2 hours. I was still lying as how will I go to school and teach for just 2 hours? I just needed an excuse to cover the lie that I gave about me being a tourist. She insisted on going with me. I tried to convince her, but she didn't want to stay alone and she said she wants to be with me every minute. So I agreed. So I ordered a taxi and on my way to school, I had to tell her the truth as she will eventually find out when we arrive and she sees everyone calling me teacher. It turned out that she was okay with it and it wasn't a big issue, so everything went fine. I took her to my small messed up room and she even cleaned it. She didn't complain as I thought and she was okay. She even stayed longer than I thought. Everything was going fine for 2 weeks of staying together and then the time came when she wanted to go back to Pattaya for work. So I had no objections and she left the next day. At this time, I was over obsessed with her. I loved her so much that I even posted our memories on my social media to let the world know that I am taken. She would do the same, but on my Facebook and not hers, but I didn't care. I was a very happy man. Very happy indeed, until I started to notice a weird pattern. When she arrived in Pattaya the first night, she video called me and she said she is very tired and wanted to sleep, and I was okay with that. In the morning, as I had missed her so much, I decided to call her before I go to work. I called and called, but she didn't pick up. Around the afternoon, she uploaded a status on WhatsApp that she was at Don Muang Airport and they were going with her sister to Phuket Island for 1 week. My thoughts started to make me worry, but I loved her so much, I decided to ignore the first red flag. So, she would call me sometimes early morning, but mostly in the afternoon and evening, and then she will lie that she is going to sleep. I didn't want to show her that I am starting to doubt her. My mind this time was telling me maybe she has a boyfriend, but she doesn't want me to know. Later, she told me she got work there and that she will be working there in Phuket. I had only just met this girl and I can't stop her, so I agreed, but I felt bad because of the distance. A week later, she complained that that place is not good and that she lost money at a club and she wants to go back to Pattaya. I was so happy as she would be at least closer to me and it's easier for me to visit her often. She came back with her sister and after 1 day she suggested to come to my room for 7 days. I was so delighted and happy. I cleaned my room up and prepared for the Grand Beauty Queen's return. She arrived at 10, we had a moment of silence, and then the next thing, she started to ask me about my life in Thailand. She wanted to know if I dated a Thai woman before. I said no. If I slept with any, I said only one. She later requested my phone to see if I have another lady. Now, I had to delete my girlfriend chats instantly, as I didn't want her to know I was lying and that I am single. She didn't find any red flag in my phone, so every day she would go through my phone, translate every message that comes in, even my parents' messages. Now, I had to find a way to play safe, as I loved ploy very much, so I raised a past argument with my girlfriend, whereby on one point she went to drink in company of men while I was working to change her life. So we argued and she cried a lot, and I told her it's over something that broke my heart as well. But when I look into Ploy's eyes, I see passion and love, and it gave me strength to not give a flying F about the woman that I loved for 4 years. And then I left the country, and she has been waiting for me for 2 years. So my relationship ended like that, but my heart was happy as I have a decent Thai woman. So time went by and we dated for 6 weeks. It was lovely and awesome. Ploy at this time had promised me it's going to be only us and no third party. If I don't cheat on her in 1 year, she will take me to her parents in the north, and I knew my role was just to be good. Ploy would come and go back to Pattaya. She made 4 trips coming to my room and going back to Pattaya during the honeymoon period. So it reached the time I started to realise things ain't right. She would tell me goodnight with no makeup on and call me at 6 a.m. with makeup on. And it would be an abrupt call like, "Hi baby, have you eaten yet?" Then she would hang up and not pick up again. When I ask her why she doesn't talk to me from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m, she said she is normally working as the shop belongs to her sister and she doesn't want her to find out she has a black boyfriend yet. I felt bad a little, but I didn't buy that lie. It went on and on and on until one night when she was cleaning my phone, and as usual, I requested to see her phone. She opened WhatsApp and I noticed there are some archived chats. She was there all along watching me, and immediately I opened archived chat folder. She grabbed the phone and deleted all the WhatsApp chats. I was very angry and we argued, and she said it was her old boyfriend chats and she didn't want me to see them. Since that she has an Android phone, I proceeded to WhatsApp database and opened sent and received images folder. I noticed so many photos of foreign men and I asked her about it. She defended herself and said that there are men who approach her and ask her for a number, but she doesn't like them, etc. We argued and she managed to brainwash me again. She is super good with words and defending herself, but I was built different and I won't buy all that, but I will act stupid for a while. So days passed and I managed to get her password, as she didn't doubt that I still have trust issues. So the night before she goes back to Pattaya, I decided to do something I have never done before, and that was to link her WhatsApp with my laptop. So she left for Pattaya and I went to work that day. So I came back in the evening and the first thing that I did was to open my laptop and see her messages. For what I saw, I never even imagined. I switched off my laptop first, didn't even cry, rolled a smoke and smoked, laughing in disbelief. All my instincts were wrong about her cheating with another man. Instead, she is a freelancer. She broadcasted, "How are you, darling? I miss you," to over 15 contacts. And the same day, she has appointments with 2 Italians to have aerobics with them both. Her words started voicing in my head how she manipulated me. She said she can't sleep with any other person. It is a disgrace to her family and she is doing something different. I didn't text her or do anything. I just kept quiet as I was still in shock. She called me and as usual, "Baby, I'm going to sleep now." I said, "Okay, good night." She didn't notice that I was angry at her. So I kept on monitoring her chats and she left and went to meet her so-called sister, who is her fellow freelancer. I unlinked her WhatsApp as I didn't want to stab my heart even more and more. I slept well that day. No reaction. Nothing. The next day, she sent me a message in the morning. "Hi baby, I am going to eat breakfast then go to work now." I ignored that message and as the day went by, my chest was getting heavy and heavy and I decided to call her, but she still didn't answer. I called again, no answer. I started overthinking and losing patience now. After 1 hour, she called and said she was at the beach. So I got straight to the point. "Where did you go last night?" She said I didn't go anywhere. So I tricked her. I said my friend saw you yesterday with a man. She was surprised and asked where. I said, "Walking Street." She said, "Yes, I went there. It was a famous DJ." I asked her, "Why didn't you tell me?" And that we agreed never to go to bars again. And when you are in my room, you rarely even drink. When you are in Pattaya, you drink every day. Why? I only wanted her to come clean and tell me her real identity herself. She said she mostly needs some time alone and when she goes to drink, she absolutely has no other men. Immediately, she looked sideways as it was a video call and said, "I am going to the toilet," and she hung up. I texted her, "I know you are with someone now. You don't have to lie to me anymore." She said, "I love you. I love you. I am sorry. He is my sister's boyfriend." And she asked, "Do you want me to go see you now? I miss you." Definitely, it was late. And that was impossible. I texted her directly, "I know you are a freelancer and you have Italians now." She replied back, "How did you know? Who told you? Why you speak to me like this? You don't trust me." She tried to brainwash me again, but I have evidence this time and she won't be able to do it. I told her about what I know and she was surprised. And the next message was, "You knew I am a freelancer from day one. What did you expect? If you love me, you will accept me as I am." Now at this point, my heart was broken completely and I even cried. I now wanted answers, but she was ignoring me. I tried to call, but she wasn't picking up. I decided to drink, as this was a huge downfall for me. All dreams I had, all fantasies she told me, all lies. All moments are now history. I really couldn't believe it. I even tried to rebound with my Ghanaian girlfriend for comfort, but it wasn't helping as I didn't feel anything for her anymore. I had fallen deeply in love with this Thai girl. The next morning she called me. She started to cry, saying she had to finish work that night and she didn't want me to ruin her work as she had to send money back home. Now that's where I started asking her to stop for the sake of our love, and to my surprise, she agreed and came to my room. I was very angry, and that night I asked her, "Why didn't you tell me that you are a freelancer? I wanted you to love me," she replied. "Why?" "Because you not the same as boy in Pattaya. Even though you are not handsome as white men, I love you." Wow, that made me speechless. She continues, "I travel for over 9 hours oftenly to come and see you. You don't have money, but you have a good heart, and I only want to be with you." Now, about my customers, it is only my body, but my heart loves you. We talked and talked and she agreed to stop. She stayed for a week in my place and she brought back that topic again. "Baby, I want to work for 15 days only, then I will never work forever." I disagreed. I even told her I am willing to pay her 15,000 baht monthly for her to stop, and that this is all I can offer. She said, "Okay, I will go clear my room, pick my bag up and come stay with you forever."
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
"I want to wake up and see you every day." I was getting convinced a little bit until the day she left again. I asked her, "You were to come back. What happened?" She started giving excuses that she has gotten a new job and she won't freelance anymore, and she didn't want to get my money as I should send it to my parents instead. We argued about that work. We all know even if you hire a band to play music for goats, it will be a waste of time. So I would tell her I am never sharing my girlfriend, and she would say I have to work for my family. We argued and I decided to check for help online by typing "I fell in love with a freelancer in Thailand," just to try to understand if there is someone with the same case as mine, as to decide what to do next. But the stories I found are people being scammed for money, putting freelancers on salaries for them to stop, but all have sad endings for men. My case is, I love this woman so much, but deep down I know I can never wife a freelancer, but this one stole my heart. I tried to block her, but I end up unblocking as I am addicted to her. I never simped, but she made me a simp trick. I already know she is poison, but I am stuck. I even tried to tell her about building her a home, paying her parents money in order to marry her, and all she says is she wants a good man. Money doesn't matter, and her parents would accept me without it.
Good luck.
So, my question is, why would she want me in her life even after trash talking her? And what might be her motive, as my only concern is emotional damage because I don't have money and she is aware of that. Right, thank you for sharing your story. on the channel. It is much appreciated, and I'm very sorry about your current situation here in Thailand. Now guys, you've listened to the story. Please let him know what you think down below in the comments. For me guys, this is just, again, it's another bonkers story. It's very simple to understand it, and I am going to make this very short and sweet. There are so many guys coming over here to Thailand that are getting with women that they would never ever be able to get back home in their own home countries. And that's why these guys are willing to ignore red flags and do everything that it takes in order to continue being with this beautiful woman. They just can't get enough. This guy was in a relationship for 4 years. He split up with his girlfriend because this more beautiful, sexy woman turned his head. And this guy got addicted, and he is still addicted right here, right now, doing his teaching job in Korat, and then trying to see this girl as much as he can. He's given little bits of money, but he's probably given her a lot more than he stated within this story. He only mentioned 2 times offering money. And at the very beginning of seeing this woman, he offered money very fast. And then he decided to make her stop freelancing and try to give it a go with her and ignore all the men she's had in her past and all the lies and tricking him and sleeping with other men while she's still with him. And he's ignored it all because he's totally obsessed with this woman. And I think, I don't know about you guys, I think that guys are more obsessed with the beauty, the youth, and how sexy the woman is. She may be great in the sack, who knows? But this woman had more to offer than his girlfriend. And now he's doing everything he can to continue with her, and wants to try to understand why this woman has decided to choose him and keep seeing him. So, what you have to understand is that this woman is a freelancer, and as a freelancer, especially if she is beautiful, she can make a lot of money. But obviously, a lot of females want a boyfriend, somebody that they can be with, somebody that they can rely on and depend on, someone who can look after them every month and they don't have to worry. And you could be one of those guys. You currently live here in Thailand, and I know from experience, from living here in Thailand for 7 years, if I say to a woman who is interested in me that I am living here full time, she is on me like fly on. And the reason for that is that I'm always here, and she can always have access to money or help. But most of the other guys that she's with are only on holiday and just paying her for her special services. Now, I personally used to live in Korat, and there are a lot of beautiful women who live within that area, a hell of a lot. So my advice to you is to start dating where you're currently living and try to have a healthy, normal relationship with a good Isan girl as best as you can. And make sure that when you get with a woman, don't get with someone who is way out of your league, as you will do so many crazy things, ignore red flags, let her abuse you, let her do so many crazy things to you, just because she is so beautiful and you don't think you can get another woman like her, and you just become obsessed. I can understand it a little bit. I think we've all been there, or a lot of us have been there, when we've started dating someone who is a lot more better looking than ourselves. But guys, I am interested in listening what you guys have to say, and I do think this subscriber will be watching to read your comments and listen to your advice. Now guys, if you've got your own Thailand true to life story and you think it might help by sharing it, help other men within Thailand, then get your story shared by emailing thaitalkwithdan@gmail.com. It is now Monday. Hopefully I can edit this video and get it live before I pick my son up from school. Hope everybody is safe and well. Be happy, have good times, make memories, and don't become a sucker in Thailand. Ciao for now, guys. Bye bye.